Welcome to our first podcast. Okay, so this is still experimental, so we're probably going to... I have a quick question. What are our rules on swearing?
Well, I actually don't give a to be honest. Does that clarify?
Yeah, that clarifies.
I don't really care. I mean, look, if we want to, we can bleep it out afterwards. I mean,
yeah.
Sometimes it's funnier bleeped out. And
Yeah. Okay, so, welcome.
Maybe we bleep it all out and then right at the end, we throw one in.
Okay, so welcome. So this is a new thing for us. We're trying this out. We'll see how this goes. But this should be quite fun. So we're going to cover a bunch of different things. We're going to do some news, some sports stuff, some funny stuff.
Talk a bit of cuck.
Yeah. Anyway.
Should we start there? Should we start talking rubbish?
Okay.
Because you mentioned before we sat down that we were going to talk about how you started getting into cars.
Yeah.
Like, what was the first car that kind of tickled it for you?
Okay, so car history goes way back, but the first car that I really got into, and car that I first owned personally, was my grandparents. They had a BMW E30.
Oh, okay.
320
better than me.
320i coupe, 1983 model, red sunroof. When my grandfather got too old to drive, he gave it to me.
Oh, wow.
It was a fabulous car until, unfortunately, age just took it and made it impossible to keep running. Well, I ended up doing mechanical engineering because I was into cars. So then I got to start exploring cars when I could, going to car places and dealers, and so I still do.
Okay.
And yours?
So mine, this is a bit stupid. Okay. So, and it might sound really cheesy. So, I mean, I always had Matchbox cars as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I used to get my pocket money and I'd go buy Matchbox cars. And, they used to do the replication. It used to look like legit.
Yeah.
And so I was super into those. And then, I was about 4 or 5. And we had this really beat up old Toyota Corolla. Do you remember the square ones?
Yeah.
So before the chisel one, was it before? Anyway. Yeah. So I had one of those, and literally the first word I learned to write was Toyota. I copied it off the front. There was so I did that, and it's like, so that was me. Although that thing was such a beater. I mean, was so rusted that we could see the road while we were driving. You could see the road through the floor. It was pretty rubbish. But I just loved those Matchbox cars, and I was never. I just loved cars. So I was always every time a relative got a car, I was like, okay, let me go check it out, And I learned to change tires, and all these people were fixing cars, and I got involved. And it was just always there, and I just had the love for it.
Yeah.
It was my thing. But so that was it. I mean, the old beater, it's not a sexy story. But it's what I did. And then, my first car was an Uno.
Oh, yeah. Unos were fabulous.
Yeah.
My family owned a Uno Pacer. Okay, the SX, a very fancy one. Okay, the one below the turbo. The problem with the turbo is the turbo's always used to go, especially here.
I know surprisingly little about the Uno Turbo.
Yeah, they were great cars. I mean, except the engines, especially up in Joburg, because of the pressure and so on, the turbos used to explode. Yeah, and so that's why they eventually.
It is a Fiat.
Yeah. Had a little Pacer SX, bright green, little spoiler, and it was an amazing little car. I mean, I had a friend of mine, he had a BMW, and he and I used to, well, I won't say race. That's
not racing at all.
No, not racing at all. But just in the evening,
try and drive alongside each other.
Yeah. That's going through sort of Durban North and so on. And it was actually such a good handling little car. I mean, it actually taught me a lot. I mean, it's obviously not the greatest car, but I mean, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's something I've always enjoyed. Small cars, and just the nimbleness.
Yeah, but you have to drive a small car hard, and I think that's the benefit of it. So I mean, when I've driven something that's got a lot of power. It's fun to drive. It's fun to just and you ram through the gears and you go for it. But if you're in a car that's speed of V8, you're doing 200 k's an hour.
Yeah.
But if you're in a Fiat Uno, you're doing 65. The chances of getting into trouble are slim.
Yeah, and that's the entire thing. I mean, nowadays, I think for the last 50 years, it's never been about top speed. I mean, the race for the top speed. I mean, it's all well and good. I mean, but it's acceleration. I mean, and that's, I mean, talk about is where the electric cars are so good. I mean, you see these 1,000 horsepower electric cars doing 0 to 100k hour times of under 2 seconds.
Yeah, like that's nuts.
That's insane.
But they also calculate that with what do they call the rollout.
Yeah.
So I think that's a bit cheating, in my opinion. But I mean, that is what it is. It's a standard. Yeah, no, electric. But that I love electric cars. You know, I feel bad when I see the way car culture is like, oh, we hate these things. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
It presents a whole new opportunity for us. You know, it's now suddenly going from, like I watch YouTubers and there's guys who pull apart engines.
Yes.
And a tiny little piece of metal breaks off on the piston and just kills the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you have to strip it and rebuild it and put new heads. And I was like, with an electric motor, like, those parts are gone.
Yeah.
You know, okay, look, it's deadly voltage. And,
it's something, I mean, as a mechanical engineer, I mean, it's slightly sad for me is to see the end of our internal combustion. I mean, it's inevitable. There might be ways around it with sustainable fuels and so on. I mean, Porsche's pushing that. But I mean, but then there is an advantage of electric. I mean, yeah.
Because look, it's for me, it's not about the look. I like that of clean energy.
Yes, yeah.
But it's a different power delivery.
Yeah.
You know, and look, as nice as, I think we've got so used to the idea of driving and going through, and this is why people love manuals, isn't it? Because they just go, I'm going through the gears, and it's nice. Like, I get it. Like, I enjoy it too. But if you're sitting in traffic and like your left foot gets a bit sick of being on the clutch, so like it's just different, you know. But I think the power delivery and then the whole concept is. So I think here's a wild opinion. Electric cars are going to change the way we do electricity at home.
That's an interesting idea.
And I'll tell you why I think this. So the internal combustion engine came out, 1900, 1890, whatever.
Yeah.
It's gotten more efficient every time.
Yes.
Because remember, the limitation there was how much fuel you could carry.
Yes.
So we got bigger fuel tanks and then more efficient engines, and they started striking this balance.
Yes.
So now we're at this point with electric cars where electricity has been around like for however long.
Yeah.
And they've made appliances more efficient. But that's always based on an endless supply of electricity.
Yes.
But now with an electric car, you have a finite amount of electricity.
Yes.
And a 4-hour charge cycle. So they are forced to fix it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, so the new generation batteries that they're developing and so on. But I mean, I think you're right. I mean, this is something I've noticed. I mean, every single sort of new generation of electric cars, I mean, the amount of power they can hold is just ramping up exponentially. And I mean, look at sort of BMWs, the difference between their first generation sort of i8s and the little i3s, and you see the new iX1s, iX3s, and the amount of power that they have on board compared to the originals, the first gen. I mean, it's across the thing. I mean, and
so there's two sides to that. There's storage.
Yeah.
And then there's consumption.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to have to balance both.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see, because I mean, okay, with fuel like liquid fuel cars, we just make a bigger tank. And go, okay, you know, trucks have massive tanks and they can drive for 1,200 kilometers. But we can't do that in a small hatchback. Yeah. You know. So, but then we've also got petrol stations all over the flipping place as well to combat that. But now we don't have that luxury is all going.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there's only so much you can do with fast charge, because I mean, you can fast charge for 10 minutes and get X number of kilometers out of it. But it's an issue. I mean, we are built around a petrol sort of ecosystem, and I mean, changing away from that is incredibly costly. I mean, you look at the US, which is, I mean, some states are banning sales of new internal combustion engines from 2030. Okay, I think California, a couple others. But I mean, is the infrastructure there to support a wholly electric setup? I mean, obviously, this internal combustion cars are still going to be around for a while. I mean, old cars, second-hand cars. It's a very valid question. I mean, and this country is obviously with our bloody load shedding. It's a serious question. I mean, how are we going to support an electric?
Okay, but I think electric cars might be the answer. So, right. I was sitting in my kitchen drinking coffee the other day and it was raining. And I saw the water like pouring out of the drain. And I thought, yes, there's all that kinetic energy that's being given to us that we're wasting. And electric cars have that concept. I mean, they regenerate from braking. I mean, Formula One, they've got heat and kinetic generation. So there's all these ways they'll look at everything they can do to recover lost kinetic energy and turn it into electrical energy. And we are going to have to start thinking further than, getting from a service provider. And I saw a little random YouTube video of some guy in Africa. Those guys, the guys who are at some school in the middle of nowhere, and they've built this thing, and there was a water flow coming down, and he built a little paddle generator, and he plugged it into a light, and it powered this light. Okay, his device was tiny. Yeah. And I just thought, you make something that just clips onto a drain, send it to a central processing unit, and you can probably charge an inverter from stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, it's not raining all the time, but you can actually have a series of cheap, small generators around the house. Yeah. So you can take all the wind, all the sun, all the water energy that comes around, accumulate that somewhere and use it. Yeah. But we're not there yet. I mean, we're still far, but it's the thought's there. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see what we can do with something like that, but we're sort of diverting away from cars, which is what it's supposed to be.
Well, yeah, it all goes. Okay, so we were going to talk about, you've given me some links.
A car that's quite popular in South African hearts for my certain sex. This is this new Civic R, the Civic Type R.
So you sent me a link to that. So that's the article on the car maker. Hey, listen.
Okay. That's quite impressive piece of tech.
Yeah, I don't like it. I've never liked it.
You never liked this?
I never have. It looks a bit like an Audi there, like an A5 Sportback.
Yeah, it does.
I've never liked it. And I can't really tell you why. I just think it feels a bit... I don't want to insult people who drive them, but it feels like a yobbo's car. Do you know
what the problem is? Okay, in this country, certain cars attract certain types of people. I mean, for example, the cars, if I had the money, I would never buy it just because of the other people who drive it. Yeah. I mean,
well, for me, it's Toyota Fortuner. I love it. They are so lacquer, but if I see one on the road, I avoid it. I don't know why. And the nicest people drive them, really. They are really nice people, but it's something that must be about the car that just makes you drive like a dirt.
I mean, it's like BMW M3 drivers.
Yeah. I mean, again, amazing car.
Oh, no.
Just
and unfortunately, Audi RS drivers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I'll get behind that too.
I've always been a fan of the Civic Type R.
I'll give them one thing. It looks like it looks like a Batmobile. Okay, this one doesn't look as nice as the previous gen, though, does it?
The old one was.
I mean, the old one looked like it. You want that as if I was a kid, that would be a poster on the wall. Yeah, it was just. It had that kind of. And they nailed that. That was phenomenal. I didn't like it though, but it still looked amazing. Yeah.
I just noticed now that the triple exhaust is quite fascinating.
Oh yeah, that is weird. But is it real?
That's a good question. Yeah, modern cars. So, I saw.
Yes, they're really pushing the back of this car in these photos. Eh? It's like, is that okay? There's the front. Oh my god, I hate the front of new Hondas.
That.
It's like flat. It looks like it's been cut off.
There's a new Honda Fit, or the replacement for the Jazz.
So the Jazz has always been called the Fit, though. But
obviously, yeah. Have you seen? It looks like a car. Wow.
So I don't know why they're styling and I saw it on the bigger vehicles. They've just gone for this really flat nose, and it looks like it's. I wonder why.
That's one thing. I'm not. It's one thing. I mean, that I think a lot of companies have been lacking. I mean, it comes and goes, but consistency of design across ranges. Okay. Obviously, so Mercedes, BMW, Audi are very good at being consistent across the range. I mean, even it does come down to being cookie cutter style, which can be annoying as well. But I mean, Toyota and Suzuki and a lot of other companies battle to get a consistent vision across that range. I think part of the problem is because of the timeline between one coming out and the last one coming out. I mean, but it's frustrating because I mean, you look at a car, Oh, the BMW, you know, straight away. It's a BMW. You got the kidney grills. You got, well, there used to be the Hofmeister kink. That's debatable nowadays. But you look at something like a Suzuki, you got to do a double take. Is it?
Yeah. What is that?
Yeah.
Well, that Suzuki Toyota. What's it? The Celerio.
Yeah. The Starlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same car.
Yes. Yeah.
But like, and you see them on the road, and you go, is it really a Toyota? That sort of things. There's two Suzukis that share it, to Suzuki and Toyota. But you know who did that really well? It's Kia. So Kia, their styling was like up to rubbish, and then they hired the guy who designed the Audi TT.
Yes.
And then he the first thing he did was standardize the grille.
Yes, the tiger's nose.
Yeah. So they standardized that, and then their cars, the design was just phenomenal.
That's a case where they knew they needed somebody to step in and create that sort of uniformity.
I think I think it's an Eastern thing. So especially the Japanese, they don't like you look at the Japanese cars that have come out throughout history. Like think about Toyota. Toyota had there were cars that we didn't get.
Yeah.
And you look at like some of them, the big. It was called I can't remember what it was.
Crown.
The Crown.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you go, what the hell? What is that? But it was like a really supreme, fast, luxury, amazing car. You know, and you think, oh, if you're going to make this really, really lacquer car, don't you want to just make it at least look nice? Like you think of a Rolls Royce. Like Rolls Royce had, like there was a design there. And you go,
the presence.
And when a Rolls Royce drives down the road, you go, okay, but if a Toyota Crown drives down the road, you're not going to assume that the inside is as luxurious.
Yeah.
So, but I get a feeling that they want the understatedness.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with being understated. I mean, it's just there's it's a hard call to describe some of this. I mean, it's just granted, yes, probably cultural differences, corporate culture, national culture issues, differences, and so on. But yeah,
but it might also just be a focus on engineering over design. You know,
that too.
Whereas I think other companies have got a balance of it. Like I mean, BMW, Mercedes, they do strike the balance.
Yeah. I mean, they lean quite heavily into their heritage.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something I think a lot of, like you said, a lot of the sort of Asian companies don't do. I mean, occasionally, I mean, they do, but there's no real. They have history. I mean, look at Honda. I mean, look at some of the cars they've built over the years. Look at Toyota and some of the amazing cars they've built. But there's no real. They don't say, well, we did this 50 years ago, let's do it again now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, but also the market forces will determine things.
Yeah.
I wish more people adopted the K car idea.
Oh.
I mean, I love a small car that does something. I just like, I don't know why, like there's just something about it.
The 600cc engines.
Yeah.
I mean, Honda built Honda again. The little S600 recently, which is an amazing little car. I would love to have one of those. And you see the Honda Sport variants, which are fabulous. I mean, they look amazingly fast. But I mean, they are slow as hell. But I mean, they just look amazing.
But they just, I don't know. I love it. Like I love the small. And look, of course, I drove an X5 the other day, BMW. And I tried parking it. Oof. It's such a monster. And you just go, that's a normal size parking, but you just, how are you going to open your doors? It's so awkwardly big. But then, like, I mean, the run around in my mum's little Quid, like, there's so much space. I can park anywhere. Yeah. And that's so great. Like, you know.
I mean, I took a test drive, like I said, I'm like going around and checking out cars. I've been doing test drives in a bunch of different 7-seaters. So I've done Cherries, I've done a bunch of others. Anyway, and they're all very nice. But yeah, they are huge, and I mean it's a big issue in this country. I mean, I would love to have I won't laugh. I mean, big car like that. I mean, driving down the Cape Town sort of thing would be fabulous. But and then I think about parking them. I mean, thankfully the high end ones have the surround cameras and stuff to make life easy. But, oh my god.
Yeah. No, they're enormous.
Yeah.
Okay, so Honda have. So this is now a new. So the article says eye-watering price tag.
What is
the price tag? Near the bottom. What is it?
Pricing, 979
Oh
times.
my god.
Yeah.
I need to recover from that a bit. Jesus. I'm sorry, I don't think that car's worth 979 grand.
I mean,
No.
one thing we'll guarantee you is exclusivity.
Yeah. Let's just quickly hop onto Auto Trader or something.
There's car price guide over there.
Oh, is it? Oh, wait, we're on Car Maker. Okay, so what else can we get for 979 grand?
Okay, filter price. Oh, God.
How to low is going to give us like McLaren's, is it?
Yeah, probably. There we go. Okay, look, in all fairness, you can, for example, you could buy 8.
Okay, we're getting close. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so 979, down.
How does this table work? Oh my God, what's wrong with these people?
So there we go. Okay, there's some 979.
BMW 420R convertible. Okay, that Audi Q5. That for me, instantly is something I choose over the Honda.
Okay. Look, BMW Z4.
Oh yeah.
963.
Is this a new car? Like, is this BMW Z4 seriously? Oh, see, that's 2019.
Yeah, it's a.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's obviously it'd be a new one, but it's only the 2 litre. But I mean,
Toyota Land Cruiser, BMW X2, Volvo XC60.
XC60, I want one.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, there, Mini John Cooper Works.
Yeah. All 4 Countrymen. So that's the all-wheel drive one.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? An all-wheel drive Mini. It's a bit big, but yeah.
Yeah. Don't forget, it's essentially a BMW underneath.
Yeah.
It's a 2 litre. Yeah.
For 450. Yeah.
Oh.
And that's a 2020.
Yeah. That's when it came out. Yeah.
Okay, so look. Okay, let's think objectively here. Mini Countryman. Okay, nice car.
Yeah.
Very, very nice car.
Yeah.
953,000 rand. Remember, that's just 50 grand short of $1 million.
Yeah.
If you're going to be spending that much money on a car, and you're the type of person who goes, "Well, I want people to look at me," would you choose this or the Honda?
Probably the Honda. I mean, because it's got the wings.
Because this you'll look like every flipping soccer mom.
Yeah.
You know. So that there I see it. But again, 950. Yes.
Cars are,
and for performance-wise, the Mini will outperform that Honda, in my opinion. I'm sure. So the Hondas, like, which gearbox does that come with? And
235 kilowatts.
I must have read that wrong. It says with a human-centered approach. I thought it said with a human centipede approach.
That would be a very
just regurgitating the shit over and over again. Blah, blah.
So 235 kilowatts. Okay.
2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine.
Probably quite close to the Mini, actually. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because the Mini was also 2-litre.
Yeah.
But that's all they give us. They don't tell us.
Performance figures. Is that
front-wheel drive, 6-speed manual with rev matching control? Okay.
Yeah. I just want to scroll up again. Is this the point we reached? Okay, scroll up to that link there. That heroic sub-million hot hatch showdown. Bloody hell!
Oh my God! Paying $1 million for a hot hatch.
Oh jeez.
I mean, okay, we should actually do a whole thing on that, and because I there's no way like $1 million for a car. I mean, I bought that Volvo of mine. 2009 V50 for 80,000 rand.
Yeah.
Okay, it was 7 years ago, but like it's 80,000 rand, and that's a lot of car for 80 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only one car I've ever bought that's broken 100,000 rand, you know, and that was that Fiat, which was arguably one of the worst cars. But I mean, like, yeah, I don't know, hey.
This is the thing. Car prices. I mean, you look at car prices now. I mean, the big issue is the fact that we are paying overseas prices. I mean, it's and unfortunately, the economics just don't work out.
Let's talk F1 a bit. So Miami Grand Prix.
Oh God.
I stayed up late to watch that circus. What did you make of the driver intros?
Oh my! I saw started. I just muted. I could see how awkward some of those drivers were.
Oh no, they didn't.
Yeah,
but the race was alright. I think poor old Sergio was. He had no choice. He had to start on mediums.
Yeah.
Even though that was the slower of the two strategies. Because if he had started on hards, he would have got into trouble with the other people fighting around him. So he had no choice to start on mediums. No one knew how bad it was.
Yeah.
And then Max got the benefit of the better strategy because he started so far back. Yeah. So and then by the time Max got into mediums, there was enough rubber down on the tire for the mediums not to be so. So I think it was one of those races where people would be like, "Oh well, Sergio wasn't thinking he couldn't convert it," but he had no choice. There's nothing he could do.
It was,
It
was a case where unfortunately, even though he got the position, it was a case of it actually wasn't the best position to be in.
Yeah.
If Verstappen then actually managed to finish the qualifying, it might have been a very different story.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
And no safety cars. Not even like everyone finished.
Yeah.
And that's impressive. The Miami intro was cuck. Okay.
Oh, God.
We know that.
Yes.
Right. How bad do you think Vegas is going to be?
Oh, jeez.
Who do you think the celebrity would be? That's gonna. So they had Will.i.am doing his raving thing.
Yeah.
They had LL Cool J doing
Yeah.
his thing. Who's going to be the one in Vegas? So who's the Vegas kind of people?
God.
See, Tom Jones is Welsh, so he wouldn't do it.
No.
And he was always there.
I don't know. It's going to be a hard call.
I don't know. There's going to be Elvis.
Oh, God.
Elvis impersonator is going to make a show.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was
Google
thinking.
Las Vegas celebrities. Let's see who comes up. Who the hell are these people?
No idea. Okay, Chris Angel, the magician guy.
Oh,
Half
God,
of
there's going to be magician things.
No idea.
Actually, you know what? If there's a magician, that'll be f***ing cool. Imagine be like, poof, Yugi Tsunoda. No, he's not. Poof, it's someone else. That would be pretty rad. But I mean, I can't imagine like iconic Vegas celebrities. So Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Those are the only two that I can. I know Celine Dion's had a residency there for like almost forever.
Yeah.
I
I don't see Celine Dion being.
I don't. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's going to be quite a spectacle. And the layout of that track.
Oh no, I don't like it. Looks like a dead pig. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Like a dead pig lying in, like, there's the nose and it's upside down.
Oh, God.
I know there's going to be an Elvis
Of
impersonator.
course.
Must be a Frank Sinatra. Who's okay? So they're not going to Texas, so they're going to keep country music out of it because they'll countryfy Texas.
Okay, of course, there's going to be Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah, definitely the showgirl kind of vibes.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Okay, and then flip those gangster movie guys. Al Pacino. Let's see. It'll be like that'll be cool. Like if it's really like, but I think it's probably going to be cheesy and crap and
Yes.
like
This is Vegas we're talking about.
those rappers and
Yeah. I mean, I love this. How many headlines after the race is going to be? If something happens, it's going to be what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, I predict that.
yeah. Why are journalists so unoriginal?
Predict it now.
Oh, okay. So Elvis, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Okay. Casino chips are going to be somewhere there.
Yeah.
They'll probably have that as actually again. So there's things you think like if there was a magician that made the guys come out, that'll be cool. If the podium was casino chips, that would be cool. Like but it's not going to be. They're probably going to make them put on like a stupid hat.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
You'll see.
Anyway,
Okay,
Thanks,
so
Dave.
I guess we're gonna wrap up there for today.
that was fun.
Yeah,
It's cool. We'll do it again next week.
Yeah. Next week.
Thanks so much. So I'm Donovan,
I'm Dave.
and yeah.
I keep forgetting to look at the camera. You know.
Oh no, fuck it. They don't need to see us. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see. We'll figure this out as we go along.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
Thanks
Thanks,
for your time,
Donovan.
bud. Cheers.
Okay, cheers.